All right, we are live, Chelsea.
Brian.
So I guess your plans fell through for the evening, and then you're like, well,
No.
I've got a fallback of a few things. And then if all those fall through, I'll give Brian a message
Who was
and see if he wants
busy?
to still do the. Well, I gave it a 30% chance that you were actually going to do it.
I mean, I said I wanted to leave my options open, but I said,
You waited till like the last minute, too. It's like every option had to be closed on you.
I
And
had
then you're like, hey, by the
to
way, I can do a podcast tonight.
be. It worked out for the best, even though you were occupied. Apparently, you made plans.
So you didn't find any parent that you like? Didn't
No,
hang out. Nobody caught your eye with your husband. Like, oh, this is a really nice couple. We should.
no. We chatted with the parents in the classroom, but it just like wasn't the vibe. And that's what I didn't know. Like, will it be the vibe or won't it be the vibe? The only reason it took me so long was because my son was having a lot of fun playing in the garden and didn't want to go inside to his classroom where his class was. And so we finally got inside and everyone started leaving like it's 7:15. So I was like, okay, clearly there's no one's gonna make plans to push bedtime.
So, big question,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going off of a comment that you made. I don't know, a few episodes back. Again, we've been off for so long. I've forgotten what we've talked about in the last few episodes. Did we go with the sleeve open for everybody to see if you can pair up with another
Oh
parent
my
that would appreciate something
my
like that,
yeah, no, I went like
or
this.
were you covered up to be conservative,
Oh
little Miss
no, no.
Southern Belle type thing?
No. I mean no makeup on, tattoo out. This is a liberal hippie school in the center of like the most liberal neighborhood in Atlanta. If I would have looked conservative, that would have not been the vibe.
I was curious when you were saying, tonight you were checking out some of the other couples to see if there was a match with another parent uh,
Mhm.
that you guys would like, and hopefully your kid and their kid would get
We
along, and you
we already
guys.
like so he has like a dedicated classroom and he likes the kids and we know the parents and we've spent time together. It was more if there was an opportunity for bonding, I was gonna take it. That's all.
Yeah. So here we are. That didn't pan out for you, did it?
It didn't pan out. Ironically enough, though, at that same school, we were picked up. We even talked about it tonight. So our very good friends were there with their son, who's best friends with our son. And he said at one point, he was like, remember, this is the spot where I picked you up. Because I was in the garden and he walked over and was like, oh, do you know much about gardening? And I was like, yeah, these are all my plants because it's the school garden. And he's like, these are all your plants? I was like, yeah, I grew them from seed and I bring them for the kids. And he was like, oh, and then he looks me up and down. And he goes, are you from New York City? It's like, ah, I love you already.
This is your husband picking you up.
No. This is our
No.
friends, our like
Oh,
parent
your
friends.
friend. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Him and his wife, and it was me and my husband, and we had this like moment, and he like clocked us for being from New York City, and they're from New York City. And so now we're best friends.
I think this is how swingers actually pair up. I think this was
Or
like a
like just
swingers meeting
adults
of
make
yours tonight.
friends. Like it could just be adults making friends. Also, your inability to hear my very platonic friend story without a dirty mind does not bode well for you for the rest
Well,
of our evening.
what an excellent segue into our episode tonight, which is
Mm-hmm.
one that I know that you are really excited to do.
It was. And you've never played the card game, right?
Dirty Minds? No,
Yes.
I don't even think I've even heard of it. Now, when you mentioned it, and I think about going to the bookstore, and I always see these really cool games at the bookstore, and I'm like, oh, that would be so much fun to play if I had friends. And since I don't, and like tonight when you called me or not called me, but when you got a hold of me last minute to see if I still want to do the podcast, because I obviously don't have anything else to do on a Friday night. I
You're with your friends at Home Depot.
I was at Home Depot walking around the Milwaukee tool aisle, just fantasizing about who I could take home with me. And I went home alone because I was like, well, I guess Chelsea has nothing. Just before we get into the game, how many other options did you turn down tonight before you're like, well,
No other
I
options.
guess I can probably knock out this podcast with Brian.
No, I told it was exact. It's so innocent, and you make it sound so bad. I just wanted to have options available to see. Also, you will be so proud. At parent night, I was drinking boxed wine.
What kind did you have?
They had Boda Box, and I was drinking the oh, it wasn't the Boda Box. It's a something with a kangaroo on it.
Sounds cheap. Sounds good.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was fine. It's out of the plastic cup. That's my other rule is like, if I'm gonna drink bad wine, fine, but let's just go the whole way. So let's use plastic, etc.
I think all of this played into why you couldn't find anybody that you wanted to hang out with and why you're back here with the rest of us for your Friday night.
I mean, it's a kid's school. They're not really gonna have wine glasses there.
So whose call was it to be like, let's just go?
Oh no,
This isn't working.
We did not. So my son is timid and takes a little bit to warm up generally. And so he didn't leave my leg, and it was 2 hours long until the last 10 minutes. And then him and his best buddy started running around with the DJ and the strobe lights, and they were running around. And so we didn't leave till like a couple minutes after. And the head of the school was kind of like, we're closing up. And I was like, if you're closing up, stop the music, because that would really help us exit.
That's how the clubs work, at least when I used to
Yeah,
go.
they kept it going.
Back to
And they
college.
finally cut it. We were like, hey, we really need you to cut it if you want us to get the kids to leave.
Well, good.
So we
Good.
were the
Well,
last ones there. I mean, I like closed down the show. No one
I mean-
wanted to hang out with me, if that makes you feel better.
You hung in there until you just absolutely had zero other things to do. And then
No,
the DM comes to me.
I DM'd you at like 7:15. We didn't leave till 8:10.
Well, anyways, it's a back-to-back podcast live episode with Brian and Chelsea, which people are like, wow, we either get them back-to-back nights or every other month an episode. So how are we doing this game night tonight? Because I'm excited to see how you have this planned out.
Yep. So pretty simple. Dirty Minds is originally a card game. If you enjoy what you're watching tonight, we're not sponsored at all by the card game, but I recommend it because I have played it before and I think it's super fun. So what you do is you're given a card. The prompt is something that should make your brain think of something dirty, and you're only allowed to speak about the clean things. So there are 2 rules to the game. One rule is you have to keep it clean. I'm saying G, like not even PG, we're talking G. And the other rule to the game is whoever, guesses the card gets a point. So you get a point if you can guess the card, the clean version of the card without anything dirty coming up.
So we're playing against each other.
We're playing against each
Okay.
other. I do not have the card game, obviously, because Brian and I are playing virtually. So I have a virtual version of the card game. I do not know if it's the exact game or if this person took their own luxuries, but I did have an independent auditor give the cards a review to make sure they
Good.
were going to be good.
Good. Now, would you recommend, since you have done this before,
Mm-hmm.
there's a bug from one of my plants that's flying around my face.
Ooh.
Would you suggest doing this game with like-minded people, or would you suggest doing this with people that are kind of straight-laced because that's even better to watch people squirm? Or would you play this with your parents,
Sure.
siblings?
So actually, family where you would not feel comfortable discussing dirty things would be the funniest because you're not allowed to. So like that's the best part. So you can like see where people's brains are going, but you're supposed to
Right.
stay clean. I have only played at girls' nights with my girlfriends. I will say our span of comfortability with topics like this was very wide.
Mhm.
So it was pretty funny. And the extra wager that I am putting into this just in my own self-interest is, and we talked about this yesterday, I don't tend to think of innuendos. I definitely don't think of sexual innuendos. So like if I say something and someone says, that's what she said, my response is, oh, I guess so. Like it never comes up. I do not tend to say things as a double entendre and then it happens and people make a joke and I don't make the joke. So generally I'd say my mind is like generally quite clean. which if I remember from last time I played this, which was like high school,
Oh,
it made the game hard for me.
right.
I have a hunch that Brian is going to crush this game because you're good at the innuendos.
Are you? I think I know the answer, but again, you and I don't know each other that well yet.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not one to be easily offended, I don't think, are you?
No, I'm not.
Well, let me put
The
it this
one
way.
thing that came to mind was like, I'm not prudish. That's what came to mind. Which, like, what is this? 1940?
But are you, let's say, with the right people, you're not prudish. But let's say with some
When you say it, it's so much worse.
but let's say with some guy on the internet or something that tries to come at you with a double entendre,
Oh, randomly?
sexual, just yeah, maybe one of your Instagram followers, and
don't
let's say
highly
Chelsea
recommend.
harvest. Let's say you harvest a 9-inch eggplant, and then you showcase. You're like, hey, you guys, I just grew this, and like you actually got the tape measure out, and you've got it in 9 inches, and then some guy that follows you makes a crude comment. He's trying to be funny, but you would be put off by it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that wouldn't work out. And if I know the person, we talked about this. I don't generally find sexual humor funny unless it's done very well.
Right.
So the odds of you doing it in a way I would find funny without tone seems really challenging. So that'll probably be a no-go for me. I mean, but I've also blocked lots of people for this reason. So I have a pretty good barrier. So like the people who are following me, generally, I know them well enough. We talk enough that depending on what they say, like I block anyone whose photos are all them shirtless, that kind of vibe.
If you, one more question, and let's get to the game.
Okay.
If you didn't know me,
Mm-hmm.
and the Tossing Salad podcast started following you and started to try to converse with you,
Yep.
would that be a block?
So when Brianna first told me about the podcast, I knew who you were. You didn't know who I was because I'm not cool. But when Brianna first told me about the podcast, she was like, Brian does this podcast, Tossing Salad. What do you think? And I was like, well, I mean, I don't know about the name. So if it was in a vacuum without a recommendation, I'm not sure
Right.
how that would go. But here I am.
But
Now, all this said, though, you're making comedy versions, talking comfortably about sex and sexuality and anything in that realm. Total stranger, have no problem, as long as it's a conversation and not like a crude joke or a hitting on.
so knowing what you know of me in combination with our show, the
Mhm.
Brian and Chelsea Make a Podcast, and my Tossing Salad podcast, is that not more of a cerebral sexual thing that you're, oh, okay, that's a little more brilliant than what initially you thought about, right?
Oh, I mean, it's a great pun. I think it's great. I like it a lot. I like that you're kind of reclaiming it for humor in a highbrow way. Oh, I'm not worried at all. I'm just saying in a vacuum. Also, this game is not going to be problematic. Like, no one's going to offend because if you play the game correctly, you can't say the dirty thing that you want to say when you read the card. And trust me, when you read these cards, the example I gave has nothing on these cards.
So let's pretend we have a whole bunch of people here that maybe wasn't around yesterday to our show.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do an example and then get into the game.
Yes. So the example card I gave yesterday, and then we are going to use the first card as an example because I've already read it. The example card I gave yesterday was, I have to count. I'm a 4-letter word. I'm a name for a woman, and I end in UNT. And the answer is,
And everybody's like, you can tell like the people that get it, they're all laughing and they're like, oh.
and the answer is
And the answer
aunt.
is aunt.
Aunt.
I said aunt, and then it was
Aunt.
aunt.
I'm not a bug.
But yeah, so I think this will be fun.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited for you to see. I don't know if you've read. So the way this works, the first card I can see it. So we'll go ahead and do the first card as a practice card for fun,
But
and then we will
wouldn't you
keep
see
score.
all the cards?
No. I can't put the screen up. I'll show you. We'll use the first card as
So
a
this
prompt.
is okay. So this is how we're gonna do. So okay, good. All right. So
Yeah. So
Okay.
this card is a practice card, and then I click the card to flip it, and then I go to the next card. And so I have purposefully not looked past this card because there's only 48,
okay.
and I didn't want to know what they all say. So I only know this card. That's all I've seen, but I have seen it. So how do we want to do it? I think we have like one of us read, because the other thing is when it's brand new, we're looking at it for too long. But once we
Sure.
get going,
Okay.
like when you read the card, it's kind of funny too. And so
So
you're
you tell
allowed
me-
to say the words on the card and only the words on the card.
Only
So
the words on the card.
protrusion,
Okay.
protrusion would be an allowed word that could be dirty, but could be clean, right? So you can do any words that are like that, but you can't say like the other word for aunt.
And what, like, there's 3 of them?
No, it's one thing. So there's 3 clues that list to one word. So this word is a protrusion that comes in many sizes. When the word's not well, I drip. And when you blow me, you feel good.
Why is there a 3, 2, 1 though?
It's the same as the aunt clue I gave you. I'm a 4-letter word. I'm a
so
name
that-
of a
okay.
woman.
Okay. I
See what I'm doing?
when I heard
Wow,
you say
Brian's
it
a little
yesterday.
slow to the guts
Well,
right here.
I'm visually looking, and it's basically, it could be a bullet point or something, but it's just this is number 3, number 2, number. Okay.
And anyone watching, guess in the comments if you think you have anything and want to help us out.
And then if
Elise.
you or I come up with it, whoever comes up with the right answer first gets the point.
Yeah, I don't have the right answer clearly, or I would have said it by now.
Okay, so
Which I
Does
think
anybody
of
in the
myself
audience
as being
have it?
intelligent. So hang on, I'm gonna think.
I am a protrusion that comes in many sizes.
I know what it is.
When I'm not well, I drip.
I'm a nose.
When you blow me, you feel good.
I'm a nose.
And then it's a nose. Okay, yeah, I get that.
Did you know it?
I can see this go 2 different ways. One to where I struggle trying to find the answer, which is great. It's fine. It's fun. I hope it's fun for people to watch us do this and struggle with it.
Well, it doesn't matter. We're
we
playing.
drink.
Elise, you got it? Did you get it before me? Elise got it. She's watching.
Okay, so that's okay. So I got it now. So I'm
let's
glad
make
we
it a
did
drinking
this.
game. If you miss the card, you drink.
So if you miss the card, you drink, or you lose. If the other person wins and you lose, you have to drink.
So I both just got this point, but not really because this was a practice. And you have to drink.
So as a practice, because I lost, I'm going to go ahead and take a drink of my.
Yep. So it won't be a whole pint, Elise. Thank you for that recommendation, but we will drink. Okay, I'm going to flip it to confirm. Yes, I got it.
Okay. So then the
Okay.
next thing would be the actual answer. Okay.
Yeah. And the thing I like about this is they are hard to get. Like this is not table stakes like aunt.
So the person that went through these before gave his or her blessing as far as, these are good.
Yeah, my
I love
auditor
it.
said there he actually laughed hysterically.
Oh, perfect. Good.
And was like, "Oh no, they're hard."
All right. Is there a time limit to where we're like, oh, we've got to get, because I'm kind of worried now that we might not get some then after.
Oh,
hearing
we may
from
not
you.
get some. And so if we don't get them, the audience gets it before us. We both drink. So it's a race.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip the card. I said this one, so you're gonna say the next one.
Okay.
And no one can guess, audience included, until Brian is done reading the card.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Well, hold on. Wait. No, we can't have the audience say anything.
Well, don't look at the comments.
What? It's on the same screen.
Oh, so I can't see the comments because I'm controlling the flashcards.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So the
if you're in
flashcards-
the audience, just don't say the answer right off the bat, but feel
Until
free to make
Brian's
comments.
done reading. Wait, once Brian's done reading, the audience is in the race too. They can beat us, and we both have to drink.
Oh, so the audience is a third player. Okay.
Yeah, they can play.
Okay.
So
okay.
if they can guess before us, we both drink.
Okay.
All right, but
Sounds
no
good.
one's allowed to guess till whoever's rating is done rating. So it's going to go Brian reads, I read, etc. It'll be fun when one of us can't pronounce a word. Ready?
I'm ready. Okay, I'm spread before I'm eaten. Like I just want to start laughing
I know.
already. Your tongue gets me off, and people sometimes lick my nuts.
Peanut butter. I think I'm right. You want to give a different guess?
People lick my nuts. So if you're saying that you know the answer and you're right, and you are right, then I lose. But if you guess it and you're like, okay, go ahead, and you're wrong, then you lose, right?
Yeah, so you can make a different guess. If
Okay.
you think peanut butter is wrong.
I think these are all just so funny.
I know.
Like
I knew you'd like this game. I knew you would.
I'm spread before I'm eaten. Your tongue gets me off, and people sometimes lick my nuts.
I'm right.
Yeah, Gardening on the Prairie is saying that was my first reaction, but seems not quite right. I want you to go ahead and see if you're right.
Danielle says it too. Okay, ready?
Okay.
Heck yeah!
Peanut butter.
Woo! Okay, Brian, you have to keep no, I'll keep a tally.
Yeah, I am not gonna be able to keep tally.
I know. I realized that once I said it. I'm this person. I got one. I'm not counting the other one.
Why would you lick peanuts?
They're salty. They're delicious. You never licked a peanut?
Well, I've put it in my mouth. But I guess I've licked it too.
Oh, I know you're just saying things.
Yeah,
on
no,
purpose.
I do. I guess I have.
They're salty. They taste good. Okay. Ready? I'm going to read this one.
Okay.
And no one can guess till I am done reading the whole card.
All right.
I assist an erection. Sometimes big balls hang from me. I'm called a big swinger. Crane truck. Ooh, who got it first?
I mean, I said it first.
You did you?
If it's a crane.
Did you say crane before I said it?
I'm pretty sure I did. I mean,
Okay,
anybody in the audience.
We're locked into these answers. I would say once we say something, that's our answer.
Yeah. No, that's the answer.
Okay, ready?
Crane. There you go.
I'll give you that point, even though I think it was a tie.
Wrecking ball or excavator? A wrecking ball only has one little ball, though. Didn't that one say?
Sometimes.
Big balls hang from me.
Sometimes.
I assist an erection, and I'm called a big swinger. Danielle's saying I did say it first.
Okay,
so thank
okay.
You.
I'll take it.
Okay.
I like to win. Okay, Brian, you're reading the next one.
I'll read the next one.
Ready?
Okay, over 1,000 people went down on me. I wasn't maiden for long. A big hard thing ripped me open. Titanic.
Oh, that's right. I didn't get it at all. I think that's right. I didn't even kind of get that. Okay, I'm going to say yes unless the audience has a different answer.
How many people died on Titanic?
I feel like, it says over 1,000. Yeah, definitely more than 1,000, right? I was just watching a documentary.
Wasn't maiden for long, and a big hard thing ripped me open.
I am so impressed you got that fast. Okay, I'm checking. Yeah.
It's only probably one of my most favorite movies to watch over and over again.
Why so? It's not a bad movie. I think it's a good movie, but watching it over and over again seems...
I do. Every time. And then I was the only person in the theater when it was on its 20th anniversary. They had a midnight showing, and I was there by myself. There's just something about the movie. I love it. So, okay.
I mean, good for you. I think it's a really good movie. I'm always bothered by some moments. Like, I'm really bothered by the size of the plank that Rose is on that she thinks Jack won't fit on with her.
Oh, at the end? They've addressed that in a couple of... Cameron has addressed that. I love her as an actress. I'm just gaga
together.
Over her.
Totally. They're amazing. That very well casted and well acted movie. It's not that. But That's I'll have to
Okay,
rewatch
so
it in your honor.
I
Ready?
am up 2-0 now, right?
No, I got
Making
the
sure
first
that
one.
you
Peanut
got the
butter.
practice one.
No, I got peanut butter.
Wasn't that the practice one?
No. The practice
Okay.
one was nose.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, you got two.
So
I
you're
got
reading
one.
the next one. Okay.
Audience, I mean Danielle, at least y'all need to be quicker on this. Come on. Okay, Brian.
Yeah. You're reading it.
You were reading it. I'm reading it.
I just read the Titanic one.
Oh shoot! Wow. You stick your poles inside me. You tie me down to get me up. I get wet before you do.
You stick your poles inside me.
I have a
You
couple
tie me
ideas.
down to get me up. I get wet before you do.
A kite. No.
I say.
Oh no! Elise got it. Elise wins.
I was gonna say like concrete, and I'm like, no. Is
No.
it tent? Poles on you tie me down
She
to get me
already
up. I get
guessed
wet
it.
before you do. Yeah, that has to
Audience
be tent.
beat you. Amazing job.
tent. Good one.
Okay. I'm going to make an audience category. Yep. Cheers. A kite wasn't like a terrible, but the wet part, it had to be 10. Okay. All right. Now you're reading this one. Sorry, I messed that up.
Okay, right. When I go in, I can produce pain. I cause you to spit and ask you not to swallow. I can fill your hole.
Dentist.
That's a good one. I bet you that's it. You can have it.
Yeah, I think it's dentist. You want me to check?
Yeah, it's it. A dentist.
Tied up. Tied up. Drink.
The funny thing, which is I guess the point of the game here, is that there's like trigger words for me that I'm just like, I don't know if I'm like just super perverted or what, but just
it's
regular
called Dirty
words.
Minds.
Why
it's
no?
trying, but none of the words are bad. So in the whole game, every single word is technically clean. They do not have any actual dirty words.
Right. But then I'm like, it's just, there's trigger words and I don't know why. Like when I saw.
Which triggered you? What triggered you here?
Spit, swallow, hole, wet. I mean,
Brian just sang them in a list is great. I mean, spit, swallow, hole, wet. Wet's not even on here.
It was on the last one, wasn't it?
You're keeping a list. I don't remember.
It just sticks in my head. I see them. Yeah, this is a game. I mean, totally to trip me up.
Okay. It's interesting. I'm doing way better, but seriously, the last time I played this game was like a high school. This was quite a gamble for us to do this.
What's the score?
It is 2-2.
2-2.
2-2.
2-2, and then what? The audience has 1.
1. Mm-hmm. Elise crushing it. Tent. Okay.
Danielle is distracted by the words as well.
That's the point of the game.
This is so going back to the whole naming of the podcast, Tossing Salad Podcast.
This is your game.
This is like the people that find that kind of funny and they're like, okay, that's a brilliant name. Something like this tonight is just fun, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that, yeah. So I love it. You did a good job. Okay, next one. Who's doing? You're doing it. No, I'm doing it. You're doing it.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
A finger goes in me. You fiddle with me when you're bored. The best man always has me first.
The ring? The wedding ring?
Oh. Yeah, wow, I couldn't. Best man should have been a good clue. I think you're right. Yeah. It's the wedding ring. Okay. Yeah. I was tripped up on that one. I'm glad we're getting all of them. I was a little worried when we started. Maybe we wouldn't.
It is. It's funny to read through them.
They're great. Okay, ready?
Yes. No, I'm reading this one.
Yeah.
All day long, it's in and out. I discharge loads from my shaft. Both men and women go down on me. Elevator?
Oh.
Yes.
I think so. Trying to decide if I want to put in a second guess, but I can't think of anything else. Okay. Wow. See, I think it's 4-2 to 1. So, cheers.
Do you have
I brought
enough
up the
to
second
drink?
beer. I brought up a
was
second beer.
Making
Don't
sure
worry.
I brought my whole box down.
I have another beer here in case. Sounds like I will need it. All right. I'm reading.
Do you really think that you would have found somebody to have more fun with tonight than this?
More fun was not the question. Strategic fun, what was on the table?
Yeah, but still.
I needed strategic fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Next
Next one.
time.
You're reading the next one.
I'm reading the next one. I go in hard. I come out soft. You like to blow me. Jeez.
Ooh.
Make sure the audience doesn't beat us. I go in hard. I come out soft.
Yeah, I'm watching.
Okay, you watch that. You liked.
I go in hard. I come out soft. You like to blow me.
My guess is ice. That's got to be wrong. It's definitely
You
wrong.
blow ice?
Yeah, I realized after I said it, but I said it. So I'm committed to my
this is a
terrible
stumper.
answer.
This is a stumper. Huh.
Oh, I know what it is.
Oh, you do know what it is?
I do.
You
Can I
you
change my answer?
Yeah, I'll let you change it.
Glass.
Come out soft. You like to blow me. Going hard. Does glass go in hard?
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. I'm going with
trying
glass.
to remember when I covered a glass blower. I don't know if that's glass.
Go. You need an answer. This is a guessing
Okay.
one.
I'm stumped. I mean, glass is a good answer.
I'm going with glass.
Okay, just check it.
You got nothing?
I got nothing.
Okay.
Chewing gum.
Oh.
I don't know about that.
Hard.
I don't know about it.
I guess the old school gum, that
Yeah.
like the square old school gum that was like taffy, took you like 10 hours to get it to soften.
Yeah. Chewing gum, there's several brands that are like super soft, like what is it, Bubblicious or something. I'm gonna say that was the weakest one.
That was
Although
weak.
if we all got it wrong, so in keep up with the game.
Cheers.
And I'm gonna fill up my box, so hold on. Or from my box.
The difference is you're drinking boxed wine. I'm drinking Guinness from a legitimate Guinness glass.
From a legitimate Guinness draft.
Glass.
Guinness for me, like there's nothing better than getting it from actual draft of you know what I'm saying? Oh,
Totally. So I think I told you this. My friend worked there. And so when we were in Manhattan,
yeah,
he worked at Guinness. And
is this the guy that you interviewed on your podcast?
Yeah, the beer guy.
See?
Yeah, you watching my stuff. Yeah, so he worked at Guinness, and we, not at the time of my podcast, but we on St. Patty's Day, on Guinness's credit card, he was allowed to take as many people as he wanted out like celebrate. And so we'd always bring a
Beautiful.
group of like 5 friends. The coolest part was he knew all the bars that actually poured a perfect pour of Guinness.
Yeah.
And so anytime we'd go anywhere, he was like, no, we can't go to that pub. We have to go to this pub because that pub can't pour Guinness.
That would be fun. That would be a night to where I'd be like, okay, I'm all for going out with you guys.
To be clear, Brian is all for not hanging out with me, but hanging out with my friend who works at Guinness.
I'm a Guinness person. And the funny thing is, I think Chelsea, I think that's her last podcast episode, right? On her podcast?
No, you're like 4 behind, bro.
I was gonna say she's just used to that kind of schedule, like it's once every 4 months pushing out a podcast.
I
so
post
that's why
2 a month. You are 2 to 3 episodes behind.
Are you doing something like Dirty Minds on your podcast? What is your
No.
podcast about?
No, it's called Coaches Take on Work. It is leadership coaches discussing topics in and related to work.
So not playing Dirty Minds on a Friday night. Okay.
No. Even though this is games like this, we played in HR a lot. This terrible negative situation happened. How can you word it as you discuss it with your executive team?
Did you really?
I mean, not intentionally, but like that's what would happen is like the thing would happen. You would discuss really what happened, and then you'd have to share it in a professional manner, you know?
Can you imagine if Chelsea was your professional coach, all like proper and business like,
How
conducting
unproper
like
am
official
I?
meetings and everything, and just all like suit business, and then
So
you catch her on the Brian and Chelsea Make a Podcast under the Tossing Salad umbrella playing Dirty Minds.
So I
on a
used to
Friday
not like
night.
that, but I decided me being my like whole authentic self gives other people space to do whatever, to be whoever they are and still perform very well in work. So that's the vibe.
Gardening on
Wait.
the Prairie is ditching us to go watch Guardians. That's fine. We get
That's
it.
fair. That's fair. It was good stuff. Danielle is staying and drinking bourbon, so we're gonna rage.
See, that's the problem, you guys, of watching a show like ours. When there's only 1 or 2 people that watch, you feel stuck. Like if there were
Don't feel
hundreds
stuck.
of people watching this, you could come and go, nobody would notice. And I guarantee you, she's sitting there and she's like, "Oh, but if I leave, that's 50% of their viewership that will leave. They're gonna notice that it goes from 2 to 1."
No, I love it's fun. For whatever reason, I don't think we nailed the algorithms, though I do think content from this episode. The other thing is this game is so old, but so good.
And also, remember, Chelsea had nothing else to do tonight. Literally, she was like, her plans to find another couple completely fell apart.
Oh my.
So back to good old Brian, that she knows it would just throw everything down and be ready to go. All right, next one.
Are you reading it?
No, there's nothing changed.
No, I forget who's reading. You're reading?
Oh, I can. Sure,
Let's
I
just
can
see.
read. I can read this one.
I don't remember it all. Do you remember?
No, I don't, but I'll read the next one.
Okay, cool.
If I miss, I hit your bush. It's my job to stuff your box. When I come, it's news.
Newspaper delivery man. Yeah.
Say a mailman. What did you say?
Newspaper like kid. There's the
Newspaper kid.
newspapers.
Yeah, that's a nice reference from like 60 years ago.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Stop it. Nobody has seen a newspaper
Yes!
boy.
I
in
played
60,
this
70
game in
years.
high school.
Nobody. I'm
Yes.
I want a replay on that one because that's not right.
I
But,
will show you. I think mine was much more viable than yours.
No, but there is no newspaper boy anymore.
How do you know that?
Show me.
Where I had
Danielle,
I
there is no such
subscribed-
thing as well, there's no such thing as a paper anymore. Well,
I
there is.
subscribe
There's
to the
not
New
very
York
many.
Times, and I get the paper. Who brings it to me?
Not a newspaper boy.
I mean, not in Atlanta, but in Manhattan, I think probably.
Not a newspaper boy there either.
Well, nailed it.
Jeez.
I
Okay.
played this in high school.
What's
just
what's our score?
3 to 4 to 1 for the audience.
3 to 4 to 1 for the audience.
Mm-hmm. You ready?
At some point, we'll just say for Danielle instead of the audience. Danielle, I hope you had nothing else to do tonight because now you are stuck.
No, you're not stuck. Leave
No,
it
she's
anytime.
stuck now
Brian and
'cause
I
she's
have fun,
won.
just the two of us.
And then she's like, I guarantee you, she's like, oh my God, I was wanting to go do something. And if I go from 1 to 0, that's worse than going from 2 to 1. Because that's
She said she has
100%.
dinner. She's dinner
100% of
eventually.
our audience will be gone.
She's going to dinner eventually. Depends on if we make it a tight hour.
Yeah, it doesn't bother. Chelsea and I have done so many lives prior to our show to where nobody was around, and we're on like 3.5 hours.
I think our best live to date.
It was kind of just raw and just kind of us, and we
Yeah.
knew even less about each other.
Joe, you're cooking. Okay, we have some time. Danielle, how gourmet is your meal? How long will it take? No. Okay, I'm gonna read the next one.
What other show where the audience gets so much attention than ours?
I
When
know.
you're the only person watching. Go ahead. Next question.
Amazing. It's amazing.
You're reading the next one.
I offer protection. I get the finger 10 times. You use your fingers to get me
A
off.
glove.
Oh.
Danielle says tacos.
Ooh, I like tacos. She's cooking
she's
tacos.
saying that she's cooking tacos. I was thinking, okay, well, that's her answer.
I know. Brian's like, not
I was
a
trying
great
to run
answer.
it through the 3 things there. I'm saying a glove.
It's a glove. I'm not even competing.
Okay. A glove.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, you're 5 to 3. Cheers.
5 to 3.
Mm.
And I've been drinking, I think, every question, no matter who
Same.
won or lost.
Yeah, same. All right. I just read.
Oh, what?
You're reading.
Oh, I'm reading. Yes.
I'm trying to remember who read.
I'm reading.
So it's fine.
I'm reading on
Okay.
this one.
Ooh,
I knew it was
weird.
getting hot because I saw it starting to drip. A minute before it was long, hard, and pointed, but then it was shrinking. And if I had gone down on me, it could have killed me.
What
I
is
feel like
this
I was reading like
card?
an excerpt from a book
I know.
from like
this is a
50
weird
Shades of
card.
Grey. That it's written as well as 50 Shades of Grey was.
Hang on. This is
It was
too
getting hot
long.
because it started to drip. One of the things that I've come up with, if the podcast live show thing doesn't work out for us, is I think you and I can come up with a better online Dirty Minds game.
I didn't do tons of research. I'm not gonna lie. This may have been the second option.
I knew it was getting hot because I saw it starting to drip a minute before it was long, hard, and pointed. But then it was shrinking, and if it had gone down on me, it could have killed me. Man. Did you ever read 50 Shades of Grey
I didn't.
when it was a big thing? Did you watch any of the movies?
I want to say I didn't.
I watched one of the movies, and I
Mhm.
tried to read one of the books because I'm like, ooh, pop culture, super sexy type book. Let's see what this is about. I couldn't get through it. I bought it on my Kindle, and you
Yeah.
would think like, oh, Brian would totally get this. Love it. I couldn't get through it because of the writing was atrocious.
Mm.
It was so basic and schoolgirl type.
I do
I
like
was pissed
YA
off.
though. I love John Green. So,
Who
like,
is that?
Fault in Our Stars.
Is that a sex type thing?
No, but it's
Oh.
YA. It's young adult. It's
Fault in Our Stars. Isn't that somebody with cancer?
Yeah. But it's like they're teenage kids. He is another one I really like too. Paper Towns or something.
Yeah.
But I can read his stuff in about a second. So I do like YA, which is why I wonder. And it is a little bit more elementary. I wouldn't say John Green he's an amazing writer, I think.
Do
I'm
you
not
just
really
say that you like YA?
I do like YA, yeah. Like Ready Player One is one of my favorite books.
And our other show yesterday, you're like, me and you, we same age ish.
What?
And you're
You don't know
dropping
what
YA.
YA is?
I do know what YA is. There's nobody that I'm ever around that would drop YA as young adult. It just shows your age.
Wait,
YA.
that's like how people talk about writing.
It's so YA. No.
What? I definitely use acronyms. You don't use
40
any
and up
acronyms?
never would have said YA or
Because
no.
it's an acronym?
No, not because it's an acronym, but that's how you refer to it. I get it because I'm with it as an older guy. I'm with
it.
lingo.
I'm with it. Yeah, you're looking really cool.
I just thought that, when you drop the YA, I was like, oh boy.
So I know that because my sister is a huge book nerd. I don't think I know that. Well, no. I also worked at Patreon, so I worked at a content company. So
I'm just making an off-base generalization. Your sister read 50 Shades, right?
I'm assuming she did, though I know she hates it and thinks it's trash. Like she prefers fantasy, first of all. Second of all,
fantasy, sci-fi, or fantasy with the long-haired guy in the front cover. Fantasy.
I would need her to like define the style.
Well, you said fantasy. There's two. There's the sci-fi fantasy, and then there's
what's the long-haired guy? I don't think I follow this.
Well, it's just the romantic
fantasy, like
fantasy with the
the one with the witches and the vampires and I can't think of it. But she likes very well written novels generally, and she likes series and will read like all 11. So she's done reels on if you thought you liked Twilight, you didn't. Read this instead.
I somewhat enjoyed Twilight, like the movies, just because they're so bad. But I kind of crushed hard on Ashley Greene. But I read the books also, just because, again, pop culture type thing. I'm like, yeah, let's read Twilight. And it's just the writing is so bad. Unlike Harry Potter, which not the same, it's a totally different episode of ours, and we're totally like, we don't know what the answer is to this card.
I have a guess.
We're like,
I have a guess for this card.
Okay, what is it? Meanwhile, Danielle's like, oh fuck, I am stuck. Oh wait, no, she's like, good. There's two people. I can get out of here.
Wait, do you have a guess for this card?
I don't. I knew it was getting hot because I saw it starting to drip a minute before it was long, hard, and pointed, but then it was shrinking. And if it had gone down on me, it could have killed me.
I mean, my guess is candle, but I know it could have killed me is kind of extreme.
A minute before it was long, hard, and pointed, but it was shrinking if it had gone down on me. Yeah, candle is not going to kill you. Candle feels good when you
understand, but this card is trash as it is. Let's see.
Yeah, let's see. Icicle. Go back. Let's see. I want to read this again. Icicle.
That's good.
I knew it was getting hot because I saw it starting to drip a minute before it was long, hard, and pointed, but then it was shrinking.
That's good. It's the format of the card is bad. Like, correct. I don't know why they formatted it this way.
Well, I mean, what do we expect when you've got it for free, right?
Yeah, it's a bootleg version of the game, right? Okay, let's see. Okay, normal. I have a stiff shaft. My tip penetrates. I come with a quiver. A pen. A feather pen, you know.
A feather pen? Your tip penetrates with a feather pen? Like a quill?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Quill.
I come with a quiver. Danielle's saying pen also.
Did she get it before I got it?
My tip penetrates. I come with a quiver. Oh man, I don't know. To give I'm going to say drill, but
No. Okay,
I'm not comfortable with
thinking.
that one.
Oh.
An arrow. Go back. Let's see this.
This is good.
An arrow has a stiff shaft.
We're getting
Okay.
worse at this game. We're getting worse.
My tip penetrates. Okay, and I come with a quiver. Yeah.
So drinking does not help the game, I think is one of my takeaways.
Oh, I mean, I think the drinking is really helping with the game.
We're not getting better. Thank you, Danielle,
Did
for
Danielle
also
get
guessing
it?
a pen. Oh, she said or an arrow.
Or arrow.
She got it, Danielle.
I mean, she
2
got it with
points.
multiple answers, but we'll give it to her.
She got it. You and I couldn't even get it with multiple
We should have
answers.
keyed in on quiver.
I know.
Because nobody's
quiver.
going to bring that in. Nobody's going to mention that other than with an arrow.
That's fair. Hey, she got it.
So, good
I'm gonna
job.
give
Okay.
that. Good
So,
job.
what's the score now?
It is 3 me, 5 you, 2 audience.
You know, I was thinking earlier today when I was totally not expecting you to come through with doing this show tonight.
Yes.
I was like, I kind of miss the original stuff that we did where we just moseyed through all these lives and made comments about them. And I think now that we know each other a little bit more, I think that would be like super interesting to do again. Chelsea and I used before we even thought of doing this Brian and Chelsea Make a Podcast. Right after the Star Wars podcast you and I did, I was like, hey, let's do a live together where we scroll through TikTok lives and just make comments about what we're seeing. I thought that was fun.
I thought it was a lot of fun. I think it would also be fun to do, but I don't know how you would do it with the sound. Like TikToks. I don't love lives. That's what I've learned on TikTok. Like they're
like our lives you don't love? It makes so much sense. Now that she said it. She just said the quiet part out loud in front of everybody.
So I even rewatch people's lives on Instagram all the time. I don't have a problem with lives. It's the TikTok lives. I have a problem with them.
You're watching the wrong ones then. I'm telling you.
Oh, the ones you had on your channel, I found funny. So then I've tried to watch it on my phone and mine are awful.
Yeah, no, I have, and this is an episode idea I think we have down somewhere where I wanted each of us to give each other like 5 TikTok accounts to go follow that I think you would find interesting.
You're going to impact my algorithm like that? Do we know each other well enough?
I absolutely know. I absolutely know. And I think superficially when you first look, you're like, oh, okay, I see why Brian's watching this. But I guarantee you, these will be some of your favorite accounts to follow. And they have great lives, great content. So, anyways, okay, let's do the next one.
Let's do the next one. I have my list for you already. I'm ready.
I read the next one.
This should be our live. Yeah, you read.
My business is done in briefs. I'm a cunning linguist. I plead and plead for it.
A lawyer? I don't really see why this one's dirty.
Well, you're right. It is a lawyer. You know, somebody like this game here, I don't know if you could do it with somebody that's not smart.
Did Danielle get it before me, or did we get it at the same time? She got it too.
I don't know. Danielle, did you get it before?
9:39. When did I say it? This minute or a minute earlier?
And I simply say, playing a game like this with a bunch of people that are not smart, which most of the people socially that we hang out with hockey they're just not the smartest people.
I hope none of your hockey parents follow this.
It doesn't matter. I say the same thing to their face. They're just not smart people.
God, you do not say this to their face.
Well, they're not. You know when you're talking to somebody and you're just like, oh, for fuck's sake, you know. That's why I have no interest in going out after the game. To do what? What do you want to do after the game? Oh, we're going to go out and drink? Okay, great. And do what? Sit there and talk about...
Do your sons want to go out?
No.
Oh, they
No,
don't care. So then it doesn't
they
matter.
just want to go home too.
Because my parents had to go out after my sporting events because I wanted them to go. Because I wanted to go.
You could have gone with another family. You could have gone without them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's not I made
your
them go.
Yeah.
I mean, they wanted to go too.
Well, that's different.
Give like my dad a chance to talk about any of us being good in sports, and that's the end of your day. Like he will take up, which mind you, none of us were that good in sports. Just saying. But if you
What
talk
did
to
you
my
play?
father, I ran track and cross country.
And then what did your sister do?
She played volleyball, and I played softball throughout high school, and then, but not
You were softball,
competitive.
track, and field.
Track and cross country. I didn't do field
Cross-country.
exercises. I played like rec league softball. There was a bunch of retired fast pitch girls playing a slow pitch rec league. Crush it. We never lost a game 4 years straight.
Oh, really?
I mean, the rec league softball is not for, we were all travel fast pitch players.
Mm-hmm.
2 of our girls could hit the ball out of most of the parks. So it just like we would stack the bases and they would just grand slam because the ball was out of the park.
Right.
So it was rec league, and you can't play rec league when you're extremely good. I was in the less good category. But we used to switch positions in the field as a joke.
Just
in between each batter, we would switch positions.
Just because you could, because it was rec?
Because they were that bad. Like there was a team for the cheerleaders, and we were like, you probably shouldn't be on a softball team. This isn't going to go well. But, it wasn't nice.
Danielle's like, oh my God.
What?
But
this is classic. Anyone who played like really competitive sports and then did rec league sports, it was like, oh.
You can't go from competitive to rec league. Although, I mean, for rec, once you get older and it's, you're getting older, it's all social type stuff. But I think it's different for guys and girls.
My husband's on a hockey league.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah. Played last night.
Saying that. And fun?
Oh, I mean, loves it. It is definitely quite competitive. It's interesting to go. I forget if we talked about this. Did we ever talk about the fight?
Refresh me.
Okay, so my husband is not even reserved. He's high. He's very good at processing emotion. So it's not like he holds it back. He just processes it internally very well. And so doesn't share a lot of negative emotion ever. And then I went to a hockey game with a bunch of my friends, and we knew all the guys playing, and we were so excited. And everybody knows Mike is very like, go with the flow, calm, cool, collected, etc. And apparently what happened was one of our good friends on the team, there's a word for this, but I don't know enough about hockey, went and with their stick went and hit his hand while he had fallen. And so they were like smashing his hand with their stick, like out of anger. But none of us saw that happen. And then all we saw was Mike, my husband, out of nowhere, skate across the ice and just deck the guy in the back of the head. And the guy's just flat out on the ice. Then immediately Mike's like thrown out of the game. And everyone looks at me like, oh. And I was just sitting there so embarrassed. Like, oh my God. Because like as adults, as kids, it's one thing I feel, but like it's grown ass men fighting in hockey.
Professional, older people that are doing stuff like this.
Yeah, and this is not fighting hockey. It's not contact hockey.
They're not making their money.
This is beer league.
This is beer league.
Yeah, and he just decks the guy in the back of the head, and I was like, what the hell, man? And then when he came off the ice, I guess his team was like, you protected Cole. Like he was like the hero of the team. But what we saw was nothing, and then him just out of nowhere decking a guy for no reason.
So I've had this I've had this conversation before with people, with women
about fighting hockey,
wives with the husbands, and is it a turn on for you to see your husband act in an aggressive fighting. You know what I'm saying?
No, I know what you're saying. It's definitely not a turn on. It's like it's neutral in that category. It was more surprising. It was like, what is happening? But it was a neutral category. It
But to
was
see, but to
just
see your
shocking.
husband again, I don't know because I'm not a wife and I'm not married
Not
to
a turn
somebody
on.
like this. But if it's because would it be a turn off if your husband got his ass beat in front of somebody? You know what I'm saying?
No, that apparently he doesn't lose. So it's not happened. But the refs break. They haven't like fought. But like, no, it's mostly the whole thing is neutral. It's more, and he rarely fights, but they do fight. I mean, they get mad in these hockey games sometimes. And like, I went with my mom, and her response, she was like, "You're a grown ass man, chill." You know, because it's just like, you have responsibilities, you have kids. Like, some of them have grandkids out there. Like, what are
Right.
you doing
Right.
fighting? You know, like, dude, you're an accountant. Don't forget
Right.
that. You know, it's like, so
There's
it's
something
not
about
good.
guys and testosterone and having to prove themselves across the board. I'm not just saying with guys in beer league hockey or anything. This is across the board. Guys that feel self-conscious that just feel like they don't matter.
I don't know if it's a guy. Like, I've never played a contact sport.
It's an absolute guy thing.
Is it? I've seen
Yes.
women who play
No.
basketball but it has to
No,
be
you haven't.
contact. Field hockey?
No.
Yes, my
No.
sister-in-law's, yes, field hockey.
Where they peacock it up like guys do.
Yeah. Okay, softball, no contact in softball. I just told you we switched bases. There is peacocking. We didn't have contact. But because the teams were so bad, we used to switch positions just to say it doesn't matter where any of us play. We're going to win. Y'all suck this much. How is that not peacocking?
See an episode on gender differences between Chelsea and I think would be
Thank you,
so
Danielle.
good.
Water polo, I bet it was ruthless, like
Stop
drowning
it.
people.
Stop it. I've never seen anything on TikTok that showed a water polo person being ruthless.
How could water polo not be ruthless? It's like drowning is available
No,
to
because
you.
you're all there's because you can't be ruthless and
Also,
wading in water.
I have to
It's
call out
impossible.
quickly. Did anyone hear Brian's definitive source?
What's that?
I've never seen anything on TikTok, so it must be wrong.
Yeah, well, that's it. TikTok rules the world. That's why they're trying to get rid of it.
No. Okay. We're technically at time. Should we do one more card? And then
Yeah.
let's stop sharing the screen.
Yes.
All right. Are you going to read it? Or do I forget. Where are we?
I think I read the last one, so you read this one.
Okay. Okay, this is better. What is hairy and oval, delicious, and contains thin, whitish liquid, starts with a C and ends with a T? Coconut.
Oh boy, you got that one.
I know.
That's a good one. Julie's on right at the end of the game here. Julie, you've missed a shit show. The perversion that is Chelsea and what's in her mind. I think, yeah, Chelsea's got this one here. Coconut. What is hairy and oval, delicious, and contains a thin, whitish liquid, and starts with a C and ends with a T.
Wait, but we're tied, so we have to do one more. It's three
We'll
for
do
the
one more.
audience, 5 for me, 5 for you.
If this is coconut, and I mean, obviously, it
This is coconut.
looks like it's going to have to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coconut.
Okay. It's a tied game. Audience,
So
you have 3 points. If you beat us 2 cards in a row, it could be tied game.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And Julie, no guessing until we're done reading the clue.
I don't think we're in a position to tell people what to do when there's only 3 people.
I'm just letting the audience know. Okay, ready? Brian, you're reading.
I'm reading
this is for
one.
all the marbles.
What goes in hard and pink comes out soft and sticky. What goes in hard and pink and comes out soft and sticky.
Bubblegum? We already had that, but
We've already had that. What goes in hard and pink comes out soft and sticky.
I'm sticking with mine.
You're sticking with gum?
Yeah, this deck was made as bootleg. It's probably gum.
Julie's saying OMGGG.
What's your guess? You have to guess. This is all
What
for
goes in
all the
hard and
marbles.
pink and comes out soft and sticky?
I have backup guesses. Come on.
You even have extra guesses?
Yeah, I do. I have alternatives.
I already know the fact that I can't come up with it right off the top of my head. I'm already going to know I'm going to have a problem with this card.
Okay, you want me to flip it?
Yeah. Bubblegum.
I win!
No.
I
Go
win!
back. Go back to this bubblegum.
I win!
What goes in hard and pink and comes out soft and sticky?
I said
this
bubblegum.
is a bad card.
This is not a bad card.
It's some bubblegums hard and pink.
Yes.
No. I demand one more card then. This is a
You can
weak
find
card.
you can have one more card, but you're behind.
I will. What's Julie saying? Never comes out.
Bubblegum never comes out. That'd be
Julie
good.
just taking it to another level here. But,
But
I'll
if-
take a drink because you
Take a
got
drink.
technically the right answer, but
And-
that's a weak card.
Fine, we can do one more card, but I'm 6 and you're 5.
Well, that's fine. I'm just saying I can't end it on a weak card.
Julie's like, you're coming in strong.
And Julie's like Friday night. She's just gonna
Let's
throw out all kinds of.
go.
and
Okay,
maybe you
so
swallow.
you're 2 down. So if I get the next one, it's definitively over. If you get the next one, we still have to do one
Okay.
more card. All right. Am I
Hey,
reading?
what? Just let me ask. So, what you know of Julie? Like, do you know her well? Ish, of the Instagram people.
Do I know you well?
Compare her to me then. How well do you know me versus her?
I know Julie a little less well than you, but
And do you think
Not
Julie is like
much.
humor wise is like me or is kind of like?
clearly
You know.
quite funny.
Well, she is. What do you think?
I mean, enjoys our lives, so must be hilarious.
I think Julie is kind of one of those reserved ones. For some reason, she can't really, put out there too much. The Julie that is super fun.
For a
I'm not
reason
saying
she'll
Julie's
disclose.
square. She said that.
She said that.
She said that. But I think Julie has an edge to her that we don't get to see very often.
It's coming out. It's coming out. Dirty Minds.
Okay, next one.
Okay,
I need.
one.
We need to end on a good card.
Am I reading? I don't remember.
You read the last one, right?
I seriously no idea.
I'll read the next one. I think you read
Okay.
the last one.
Could be anything.
I come in many sizes. Sometimes
No.
I. What?
Nose. We can't do this one.
Oh my God! That's the first one. What is going on?
It's
Are we-
worded differently. They got slow. Okay, let's do
All
one
right,
more.
let me
and see.
just read through this real quick because it was. I come in many sizes. Sometimes I drip, and when you blow me, you feel good.
Mhm. I could have
Okay.
just won, but sometimes I drip, and when you blow me, you feel good. We're the exact same on the first.
Danielle,
card.
yeah, Danielle's like that's a repeat.
Yeah, repeat. Okay. Not a repeat.
What word starts with an F and ends in K? If you don't get it, you have to use your hand.
Fork. I win.
I mean, technically, maybe, but again, this is a weak card.
This is not a weak
This
card.
is a weak card.
Brian is a sore loser.
Let me see. Oh no, hold on. Let me see if there's some other. What word starts with an F and ends in a K? Okay, that's a good one. And then if you don't get it, you have to use your hand. You
You're
don't
a
get a
sore
fork,
loser.
you have to use
it's
your
a
hand?
fork. It's a fork. Obviously, you have to use your hand. I win.
I think. Let's see what the answer is. Maybe we have to pay for a version. Like I would totally. Like, this is fun. I like this is
You're
fun.
a sore loser.
But I think when we just do a free version,
You're a sore
A
loser.
lot of weak cards.
You're a sore loser. We had one repeated card, and we had one repeated
Julie
clue.
comes in. Julie comes in at the end of the game, and she's all like, "Chelsea's good at this."
Brian was up, but
Julie's
I caught
seen
back
two questions, and then all of a sudden she's all like, "Oh, Chelsea's really good at this." She didn't see the first 10.
Because I won.
Well, for one, I think it's worth.
Thank you, Julie.
I actually have a game that I bought, I don't know how many years ago.
I'm so quick.
That I was
mean,
like, if
just
we ever came up
compliments.
with,
Just coming in.
Julie, stop it.
Just keep coming, you know?
I was like, I bought a game that I told my wife, I was like, if we ever find the right couple to play this with, this would be so fun.
What game?
I think it's called like, Who Would You Rather? Or Would You Rather?
I think I've played Would You Rather.
Or have you?
We're a big game family. Like we have played. There's a Red Flags is
My
a game.
Buttons kind of.
What's happening
like
there,
I'm
Brian?
like- I feel like I'm-
What's going on there?
Who's the
Well, Brian
tattooed
just lost
bearded
the
singer
game by
guy
default.
the tattooed face guy? Post Malone?
Oh, are you relating yourself to Post
No, but
Malone?
it looked like I was like, oh my God, what kind of a show are we doing?
Apparently, Brian thinks he's like Post Malone. That's his
But it's
doppelganger.
Who Would You Rather? I think that's the name of the game. Again,
How
I
does it
bought
go?
it so long ago, and we've never found the couple to play it with.
How does it go?
I don't know. We've never played it.
You just haven't played it because the title of the game sounds.
We haven't played it because we haven't been able to bring a couple back that we both agree that we're like, hey, we both like them.
So your effort in swinging is not working out for you.
It's not.
of
No,
late.
can you imagine how hard it is to swing?
Can't. I mean, I can't imagine why it's hard for you.
So let's just. So
when you only go to the tool aisle in Home Depot to find your couples.
I have, for a while there, all I was fed on TikTok was swing talk. I think you and I had talked about this before.
I never saw Swing Talk till I saw Brian's TikTok.
Swing talk is crazy drama, and it's always like one of those. It's like I'm not judging. I'm there for the drama, watching the drama unfold, and all the behind the scenes stuff. It's interesting for me, and so, Julie, God damn it, that's another game that I want to play. Marry, Fuck, Kill.
That's a good one.
Which is also another game that the Snapchat AI will not play with me. I asked her to play that with me. She'll play any game. She'll play.
Just change two of the words. She won't change it because of fucking kill.
No, she won't play it because of I forgot what her excuse was. And I was like, well, can we just change the names of Marry, Fuck, Kill to something else? And she made it to something that wasn't even fun. I was like, this isn't fun to play. But now I lost my train of thought. What was I talking?
So
I was
you were
talking about
trying to
swingers.
tell people how hard it is for you to find a couple to swing with,
Yes.
and what took you away from that was your relationship with the AI chatbot. And I think
Yes.
we now all know why it's hard for you to find a couple.
The last month I've had many. I've actually spent more minutes with my AI chatbot on Snapchat than I have with Chelsea on our own podcast.
Yep. And I mean, Danielle, I see this point. I think into some place though, if we knew too much, it would remove the fun of what we know about Brian.
It would totally ruin the mystique that I have.
But I
'Cause
will
right
say
now
the
I'm
reason
sure
you
that-
can't find a couple is because you're spending most of your time with an AI chatbot.
The reason why we can't find a couple is because, can you imagine? I mean, and this is a serious question. If you were a swinger, and I know that you're up for an actual good conversation, right? If you were a swinger, having to find another couple that you both actually liked, do you know how hard that is?
Not very hard. I have a bunch of friends on
No,
sites for
not
that.
not in that way.
There are
There's no way you and your
dating apps.
husband that would
Not
be.
us. I don't personally, but there are swinging apps.
Yes, they're swinging, but that's not what I was saying. I was saying, do you know how hard it is for you and your husband or whoever
Oh, to find someone you mutually agree
that you
upon?
both, you and whoever you couple with, let's just say.
Sure.
Do you know how hard it is to be swingers to where, because you both have to not only like the other couple, but then we get into maybe a little bit of our is love blind as well. Not saying that there's love involved with that.
One's attractive, the other isn't. I see your
Yeah. It-
Yeah. No, I think that
can we
is
have a swinging
totally
episode?
fair.
Because I totally have so many.
I know. I don't know
brilliant
enough
ideas
about
behind it.
this. Like, I know a lot about poly couples, not from personal experience, but just from talking to people and like open marriages and stuff. I don't know a lot about swinging, like what it is versus
Do you
being
think
an
that's
open
a stigma?
marriage.
The
I
fact
don't
that you
know.
had to verify, that you had to put out there that comment, like you could
Oh
have said
no,
exactly what you said, but then you're like, that's not what we do.
I was saying that's not what we do. Just like I'm not sharing from personal experience, so like take what I'm sharing with a grain of salt.
See, Julie is slight. See, this is Julie. This is why I know there's a whole nother side of Julie that's just unsquare. Julie's very like gardening.
Is this an innuendo I don't understand?
Oh, stop it! The pineapple.
I don't get it.
Oh, stop, Chelsea.
I really don't get it.
You don't know what
Pineapples in
the
the South means it's time to leave.
pineapple with swingers. That's the code.
I don't know. So in the South, if you are staying at someone's house and you get a pineapple outside your door, it's meaning it's time to leave.
Oh, if that's what they're telling, is that what your sister's telling you or something?
No, I am
Because
from
that's-
here.
that's
Thank
not
you.
the
She's
South.
not more
That
southern
is not
than
the
me.
South. That the pineapple
This-
that is time to leave is not the South. Julie,
It is.
help
It's
me out here.
historically traditional.
Exactly. Julie knows exactly what's going on. She's playing.
I don't know what we're talking about. Legitimately.
The upside down pineapple is kind of like what a lightsaber would be for a Star Wars fan.
I need
If I
more.
wore a T-shirt with
Say it.
with just a lightsaber on a T-shirt, you'd be like, "Oh my god, that's a Star Wars guy."
So an upside down pineapple says I swing.
Upside down pineapple is a code for swingers.
Okay, what about this?
Isn't a flamingo the same? That I don't know. Flamingo.
I don't know. Just showing the stuff as it comes up.
Yeah, flamingo. I
Okay.
don't know about.
See, but here's the thing: is you're like, how do you not know this? I just shared. I don't know anything about swingers, which is ironic given how much I know about other things in this
Exactly.
area.
No, Chelsea. I think. I just don't. There's no way you didn't know that pineapple
Why would
had
I
to do with
lie?
swingers. I don't think
I
you're
would
lying.
look so much cooler if I knew. I'm looking like a loser not knowing. So clearly this is honest.
But yeah, the upside down pineapple. It's like when you're in the suburbs of wherever you're at, and you go to the grocery store, which is a great place to meet people. And you go and you put your pineapple and you put it upside down in your cart, and that is the signal for other people to be like, that is our code word.
Wait, okay.
Well, not our, but
So how if Julie knows nothing other than the pineapples?
also see Julie's now backtracking. She's
And
like,
then-
"Oh, I'm getting a little too open for people. I need to be a
Brian
little more
claims he's not a
garden
swinger.
conservative." What?
Brian claims he's not a swinger. How do y'all know about the pineapples?
Well, first of all, I think this is why they're trying to get rid of TikTok, because this is where I'm learning everything on Swing Talk.
Apparently, I need to follow Swing Talk. I don't follow anyone. No, I can't mess up my algorithm. Can't do it.
Oh, but so that's what I was talking about before. Just real briefly. So there's a bunch of popular swingers on Swing Talk on TikTok, and they're just they're just being like, hey, we're everyday people just like the rest of you. And we're not. It's just something we choose to do, and when you choose to do it, and it's all adults, nothing wrong. Cool, okay.
I agree with all of this.
Yeah, well, then you'd love this. And
No, it's not that I want to love it. I don't want to mess up my algorithms, but I very much agree. Like, we have a terrible idea of like sex and monogamy and boundaries in society, which is incorrect. It's not actually like authentically set. And so then we all try to act in the same box and it's not real. I think everyone are just people. And some of us actually are authentic to our desires and some of us are not. So I love all that. I'm like, yeah, do you, man. I don't care. Swing, do it. Love it. Great. I would rather you be open, or you don't even need to be open, but I would rather you like live the life you need to live. Then nothing is harder for me than someone who just hates monogamy and continuously marries people in monogamous ways. Like, you know, those people where it's like, I've gotten divorced 4 times because I can't stop cheating, but 5th time's a charm. It's like, no, it's not. It's not. Just accept yourself and love yourself for your non-monogamous ways.
So swing talk, which it's like watching. And
I love how Brian's calling Julie square, but then Julie's over here agreeing with me, and Brian's like, I can't even talk. I can't address that. I need to change the subject.
No, I'm not changing the subject. I'm reminding myself of what I was saying before and why swing talk is so fun to follow, because you're learning about a completely different lifestyle for people that is kind of underground and is actually more popular than what people think.
Oh, totally.
From all different kind of professions, and your neighbors, people from your hockey team, from whatever, are all somewhat involved with it, a lot more than what you think. And they put on this show on TikTok that, this doesn't affect our relationship, and if you do it right and you're open, communication, all that stuff. And then it completely just unraveled, like the most popular swing talkers.
Wait, why?
That were swapping couples and and they were just all together and they're all buddies and friends and everything. And then it all broke down to where it was a complete disaster. They all hated each other. They were all doing like simultaneous lives, talking shit about somebody else. And then they had swapped the actual couples around to where they're like, okay, we're no longer swinging, but we're now with the other couple or the other person.
Oh, yeah.
And so you're watching this and you're like, oh, you're just eating your popcorn watching. And I feel bad a little bit because I'm like, what the fuck am I doing watching this at 2 a.m? But then you're like, hey, they're adults. They're putting this out there. And and the craziest part, thousands of people watching and tipping left and right. They're making a living just showcasing this drama in their lives. Now, whether or not it's manufactured or not, I don't know. It does seem
Think
like
about the TV shows that exist. That like the reality. Right. It's like it makes sense. It's like there's no barriers to production. The thing that I would say, I don't know that I feel it'd be hard to find a couple that would be agreeable to 2 people. I think it'd be harder than just like finding a partner for yourself. Right, absolutely, of course. Just like rule of numbers. I think it's possible. Like, it's not the hardest thing. I think the hardest thing is the amount of like drama.
Yeah. But I guess that goes back to 20 minutes ago when I was saying how hard it is for a swinging couple because you're trying to find not just one person you get along with as a friend in your life, because I find it incredibly hard to find people that interest me, that I like, that I want to be friends with, much less an actual couple.
But your perspective comes from having less friends than some of us who are like more comfortable having more friends. So I don't think it'd be that hard. I think there's just more drama and more layers. Also, this just makes me think of Frank and Gracie, if anyone's seen that show on Netflix, where the husbands get together and then they become best girlfriends.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
It's so good. It's so good. It's I'm bad at names of actors. It's those 2 women who are just really epic, who you will know exactly who they are.
It narrows it down.
They're older. They're in their 80s and they're still acting.
Well, like Jane Fonda and
Yeah, it's Jane Fonda
seriously?
and yeah. And
Oh,
who's the other
Lord.
one?
Who's the other old actress that I can think of off the top of my head?
Yeah, Grace and Frankie and their husbands. I mean, this isn't a spoiler. You figure it out in the first 2 minutes. It's on Netflix. Just watch season 1. The rest of the seasons are terrible. But their husbands leave them. And turns out their husbands have been in love for years. And they thought it was just like as couples, they were friends. And then Grace and Frankie end up like supporting each other through this.
That sounds interesting. I just don't know if I would watch. So, okay, so
Wait, you're going to watch MILF Manor
I
because
know.
Castle recommends
Well,
it, but you're not
there's-
going to watch my show?
there's I've got to watch how I come off, because I can come off very superficial and shallow sometimes.
What? Okay.
Do I want to watch something like that with people that are, and I'm going to be ageist on here. I guess I can. We're at an hour 25 into our show that nobody's going to watch.
They're so good.
I don't want to watch somebody in their
good.
70s in this situation, to be honest with you.
Oh, watch it. Just season 1.
Yeah.
Whatever. You
I'll
can't
try.
love swingers and not be interested in watching this.
Do you think there's a market for a show like Love is Blind or Love Island, which is actually we're watching Love Island now?
Wow.
Do you think there's a market for an older version? I know this sounds like hypocritical of what I just said.
I know
But if
exactly what you're saying,
people-
and absolutely.
In their, let's just say that can touch their 40s, late 30s to early 50s.
Oh, you could go older. There is. Here's how I know there is. The largest population of cohabitating, not married, and STI transmissions comes from the elderly. Like, absolutely. Kick it up.
Will people watch it?
Why not? The amount of weird stuff there is, and that wouldn't
Well,
be that weird.
I say that, and I'm like, well, if people would, and people can make money off of it, they would have it on the show. So, but that's why we haven't seen it, because people wouldn't watch it. These love shows, that's why most of the people that
are in
are
their 30s.
they're casting people that they know will draw people to watch their shows. But I'm just kind of curious. Like, I personally, selfishly, when I watch a lot of these shows, Love is Blind and all this stuff, I mean, it's a huge turnoff. The immaturity of the people that are on there, even if they're younger and they're nice to look at or whatever, I do get bored with it.
That's why I
And
like
I'm like,
Married at First Sight.
Yeah, no, it's a good one.
Oh,
I
yes,
wonder if-
Danielle.
If there would be one with 40 and up.
What if there was one with
Florida
Florida
retirement
retirement homes?
Yeah, I don't know. See, that's the thing. It's like, I don't know. I know what I would watch, but nobody's creating content for just me. And I have to guess that they have the data. Nobody's going to watch anything other than young 20-year-olds so that they can take their shirts off.
Young people aren't watching reality TV. They're not. Young people are watching YouTube. Reality TV is for us and you. I'm going
But
to say
Julie,
us
I'm telling
and
then
us millennials, and then
if
you.
that is true, they would make content for it.
You don't think they're making content for it?
Of these reality love shows? No. Other than
Jersey
MILF Manor.
Shore. Jersey Shore is back with the same original cast, and they're all in their 30s with kids, mostly talking about like divorce.
Are they?
I watch it.
Do you?
I do. I'm
Is it
obsessed.
good?
You know what's funny? I never watched it. So I
Other
did
than
not
now.
watch it. I watched them, no, not other than now, for some time. So I started watching when it was just Snooki and JWoww, and it was like they're getting married and having kids. And everyone's like, oh, you watched this when they were younger? And I was like, no, I didn't like them being young idiots. I like them being 30-year-old idiots. I don't know why. They're doing some of the same stuff, but it's interesting. Like the situation had tax evasion and went to prison, and it's all on the show. And I love it. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I find it like something like that, I don't know if I would have guessed. I mean, other
I
than
watched.
you and I, yeah. So I would think a lot of this trashy stuff, aside from you and I already talking about it, so then I know that you do watch it. But most of the stuff that I get from Chelsea, I think would be like this kind of stuff is well beneath the Chelsea that's there. That she would never watch this in the way they portray women and the way they just.
The way they portray women on that show. So the big thing is I need like lowbrow moments to just even it out. Like, especially when things feel very pressured and very high and very whatever. It's like you need lowbrow content to just like feel comforted.
Yes. No, I don't disagree with you. I was just saying that I would if I was just kind of coming into talking with you. Let's just say I had a kid that was the same age as your kid and we were at that school thing tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And if I just started talking to Chelsea, I would be like, she's I don't know if I want to I don't want her to look down on me or anything.
That is people at large don't find me intimidating.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't want to tell her that I watched Love Is Blind.
Oh, I crushed some Love Is Blind. I'm not missing it. I know more than you. We needed Anna on because I needed a second expert because Brian was like halfway caught up.
The fact that and you bringing that up real quick, and did have to.
We are not keeping to a tight hour, so we're wrapping up.
Well, yeah, it's an hour and 30 minutes at this point. So our last episode, where we were reviewing our Is Love Blind, and we had a moment where I was recounting Anna's story.
Oh, did you compare
of her blind date, I think, because she had been set up by her best friend, and she came into town to meet her best friend, and the guy that her best friend hooked her up with, to where they were just talking on the phone and having a great time. They were like, "Oh, hey, we're in the same city. Let's go meet at the park for the first time."
Yep.
And then Anna rolls up to the park.
Wait, you're recounting it again differently?
I'm recounting again a different, right? But that's what I'm saying. And so I'm retelling this story in our last episode.
Yes.
And Chelsea's like, "Wait a minute. Brian's adding all this flourish to the story that she did not say in that episode." And I was like, "How did you miss that's the whole point of that story, Chelsea?" So Chelsea and I are going back and forth. Like, she's accusing me of embellishing and flourishing, and I'm accusing Chelsea of not paying attention to the story.
No, I have a great memory.
So Chelsea's like, "Okay, the next thing that you have to edit for a video is you retelling the story as you think you heard it, side by side with Anna telling the story," which is a great story. A great story. And I was like, "Oh yeah," because I don't just come up with these details. I'm not making this up.
She told you separately. You were telling. Julie even said this in the comments.
But that was the problem.
So you pair those stories up, and I'm right, aren't I?
You were right in that the story that I was retelling was not what Anna told us on our episode.
It was funnier when I didn't know that y'all spoke separately because I thought you were just embellishing for no reason.
Right.
Also, you're going to hate this because your sound sounds awful, by the way. We can't go over an hour.
God damn it. I know. Gee, I can hear the snapping and the crackling.
I know. I didn't want to say anything, but now I'm like, it's probably time, and Brian's going to hate all of this content.
Yeah, I'm so pissed. That's why I haven't edited anything from the last one, because I'm having so many problems editing too.
No.
God damn it. All right, well,
it's
now
like our bedtime. It's like telling us
we're done. We're done.
Julie, Danielle, thanks for playing. Good game. I unfortunately beat everyone.
Yeah, I'm